Five Nights at Freddy's 4. This time, there's no cameras, no mask, no audio alerts. The only thing between you and death is a flashlight and two flimsy, unlocked doors. Because for some reason, your house is U-shaped. So how do you survive? Well, it's a combination of the all-important audio cues, game sense, and a little rhythm. Speaking of rhythm, the main four are mostly where it comes into play, so I'll go over them first. They will appear in nights 1 through 4, as well as the first 4 hours of night 6 and 20 mode. Bonnie and Chica. Bonnie and Chica behave exactly the same, just being on opposite halls. Bonnie on the left and Chica on the right. There are multiple audio cues that allow you to discern their behavior. They can be divided into two categories, in the room and at the door. First up is this stepping noise. This sound will come from either the left or right direction, lining up with the movement of each individual animatronic. The first time the noise is heard means that the animatronic is in the hallway. The second means that it is at the door. However, on later nights, the two may become indistinguishable, so it would be good to check more frequently. Chica, like in the original game, has a special audio cue where she can be heard in the kitchen, which means she is not in the hallway at all. This noise can also be heard at a louder volume at the right door itself. The other, more important breathing noise at the door has been a great source of confusion for many people.
I thought I knew what the breathing sounded like. I should have listened for longer.
This is because of a quirk in its behavior, in that you should wait at least 4 seconds at the door, as the sound happens in pulses, and may take a second or two to trigger. As for the noise itself, it sounds like this. If you hear this noise, shut the door until you hear this. The sound of them walking away. You don't have to wait for the audio cue to finish to flash your light down the hallway. A very important final thing to note. Bonnie and Chica can only get in the room if you're looking at the bed, so ward them off first before checking the bed. This way, they will only be a threat if they are at the door. Foxy's closet, however, can be safely checked, assuming he is in the closet.
Hello. Hey, you're doing great. Most people don't last this long.
If you've watched for this long, why not subscribe? It's free and you can leave at any time, unlike some unfortunate night guards. Foxy. A fact that surprises most is that Foxy starts in the halls, then makes his way to the closet. The audio cue for his movement in the halls are the sounds of his fast, light footsteps. There is also an audio cue of him getting in the closet, which sounds like this. You'll also see the closet visually creak in the bedroom. After Foxy enters the closet, you'll have to keep a close eye on him, shutting the closet door for 3 to 5 seconds if he gets too close. In the closet, there are no audio cues to his movement, but your flashlight will flicker whenever he is a threat. However, keep in mind that Freddy also flickers the light, so it may not always be Foxy flickering it. In later nights, it can be important to keep Foxy from entering the room. Foxy will only enter the room if you're at the door opposite to the one he is at, so if you always flash your light down the hallway he is on, he will never enter. If you want him to instantly kill you, for whatever reason, there's an Easter egg where if you click on the plush's nose more than 20 times, Foxy jump scares you. However, keeping him always at bay can become impractical at times, as it may force you to neglect Freddy, which will almost always result in some sort of game over. Freddy. Neglecting Freddy can be one of the worst mistakes to make, as while he is a threat on his own, he makes Bonnie and Chica a much larger threat. This is because, as discussed earlier, the pair can enter your room if you're looking at the bed, which you must do to defend from Freddy. As the night goes on, the little Freddles will accumulate behind you on the bed, forcing you to flash your light in them to scare them away. Up to 3 Freddles can accumulate on the bed before Freddy kills you. Freddy essentially being the Fourth, Freddy. You can gauge the amount of frettles by how loud they are behind you, with 3 different levels of volume. Your flashlight will also begin to flicker more and more. Although, remember, Foxy can also do this, but also the other way around, and just check both whenever this happens. The best way to deal with them is to make sure both doors are clear of threats, then quickly flash your light on them to reset the bed. Now that you know how to deal with them individually, we have to tackle the hard part, how to handle them together. Rhythm. While the game's random actions may force you to make certain judgment calls that stray from the rhythm, other than that, the rhythm is pretty basic. In its most basic form, it goes door, other door, bed, closet, repeat, making sure to check at each door and ward off Bonnie or Chica if they are there. It's important that both doors are clear before checking the bed, as otherwise there is a chance that they will jump scare you while doing it. Your first action of each night should be to check every area at least once, as it loads them in and reduces lag during the more stressful parts of the night. However, if you want to keep Foxy out of the room, it is a tad different. First, again, load every area, then go to the door that Foxy is at, ward him off, while making sure to listen for breathing, wait for Foxy to move to the other door, then clear the other door, check the bed, and repeat starting with the door Foxy is currently at. However, as stated before, this strategy can be practical as it is pretty luck based, as if Foxy never moves to the other door, Freddy or be it Bonnie or Chica at the other door will get you. This rhythm can be used early in the night in conjunction with the normal one to give yourself a little more time before you head to deal with Foxy in the closet. Once he gets in the closet, you should just use normal rhythm. This should cover most nights, except for night 8 or 20 mode, as explaining that strategy would be a video in itself. So you've beat the night. What next? Every time you complete a night, you enter the Fun with Plushtrap minigame, where you have to try and flash your light on him when he is on the X. But to get him to the X, you have to know exactly where he is. This is the noise of him moving closer to you. The strategy here is to wait until you hear him move twice. Then about 6 to 8 seconds later, flash your light on him to catch the yellow rascal. This will advance you 2 hours ahead for the next night, but only for a concurrent attempt. If you die or the game closes, your head start is lost. Similar in design to Plushtrap is his big brother, Nightmare Fredbear. He appears by himself in night 5 and after 4 AM on the 6th night. During the 5th night, he is the one and only animatronic that haunts you, which can make this night almost easier than the others if you know how to follow his audio cues. His mechanics are a combination of all the main 4, but since he is the only one, there is no rhythm, only careful listening. Audio cues are of utmost importance during this night, so definitely make sure you have a good pair of directional headphones or earbuds. If you've made it this far without them, congrats! How? First up is the sound of Fredbear moving around the halls. One thing to note is that the cue starts on the opposite side, so be sure to keep that in mind so it doesn't trip you up. So, if you hear footsteps starting from the left, then they will go over to the right, so he's actually on the right. Similar to the others, it generally takes 2 laughs on one side for him to be a threat, but still check either way, as he is very, very quick. When you know he's at or close to a door, quickly flash your light and shut the door immediately, even if he is not there. Unlike Bonnie or Chica, there is no punishment for slamming the door in his face. If he is there, wait until you hear him move to another door or until he laughs. Once he moves, you do not need to flash down the hallway, as it will only waste time. If he is not there, and there's no audio cue that he moved, run away from the door, and then run immediately back. This should cause him to appear, so you can slam the door in his face. An oddity to note as well is that your flashlight must be off when the door is shut, as for some reason, he will still attack you if your flashlight is on, even if you shut the door. His second type of movement is marked by the audio cue of him laughing. However, there's a caveat to this. If you hear a laugh and his stepping noise at the same time, ignore the laugh and go to the side he stepped to. If you can't tell which side, just check both. This weird phenomenon is the cause of the accurately dubbed fake laugh. If it is just his laugh and no steps, First check the bed, then the closet. You defeat him there the same as you would Freddy or Foxy. When shutting the closet door or shining your light in the bed, you are safe to move away once you hear him move in the halls. All of this also applies to Nightmare, who appears in the night bearing his name, as well as after 4 a.m. during 20 mode. After a handful of attempts to do the fake laughs, you should have it done and dusted. 5 nights completed. So if you've come back to the older games because of security breach like I have, FNaF 4 shouldn't be as much as a problem now that I know what we're doing. Goodbye!
P.S. I realize the original version of the script has 1983 words in it. That's a pretty big coincidence. Also thanks to the FNaF wiki and this guy Ambience on YouTube for helping me make this.